So I got a comment from BJC2859 about doing a episode on Rubik's Cubes, specifically how many combinations there are. To figure this out, we have to start at the beginning. The Rubik's Cube was invented in 1974 by Erno Rubik. He was using it to explain geometry. But when he scrambled it, he could not get it back together. It took him a total of 1 month to solve it again. Eventually, he sold it as a toy, and it became one of the most used toys in the world. In fact, 1/5 of the population of the entire world has used a Rubik's Cube. The weird thing about a Rubik's Cube is after just a couple moves, it becomes almost impossible to solve. Well, of course, unless you know the trick. So just how many turns would it take to solve a Rubik's Cube? Well, in 2010, it was proven that any combination can be solved in 20 moves or less. So now we come to the question, how many possible combinations are there on a Rubik's Cube? Well, the equation for it is kind of complicated. You take like the 8 corners, and each one has 3 different ways it can be turned, and the 8th one is determined by the other 7, and then the edge pieces all have certain rules. But after you put it all into the equation, you come out with, hold on, I wrote this down, 43 quintillion, 252 quadrillion, 3 trillion, 274 billion, 489,856,000 different combinations. Now, to put that into perspective, if at the beginning of time you were issued a Rubik's Cube and you did a different combination every second, from then until now, assuming you didn't do the same combination twice, you would still have not done all of the combinations. Now that's just for the possible combinations. There are also impossible combinations. For example, this is an impossible combination. You see how this edge piece is flipped, but then all of the other pieces are in the right spot? Well, you would think, well, just turn a bunch of sides and get it in the right spot. Well, here's the problem with that. You can't turn more than 2 edge pieces at once. You see, I flipped this one back, but then this one is turned as well. It's the same for the edge pieces. You can't have one flipped and everything else completely fine. This amounts to a whole bunch of other different impossible combinations. But let's not go to the impossible, let's stick to the possible. How fast can you solve a Rubik's Cube? Well, the world record is around 5.5 seconds. Now, there are other Rubik's Cubes too, such as a 2x2 and some other huge Rubik's Cubes like a 17 by 17 by 17. And believe it or not, there are Rubik's Cube competitions for almost every Rubik's Cube out there. There's combinations for 4x4, for 3x3 obviously, for solving it with one hand, for solving multiple Rubik's Cubes in quick succession, solving weird other platonic shaped Rubik's Cubes. If you want to see more, I left some links in the description. Go check them out. And for now, thanks for watching. Leave your questions in the comments below, and I'll get to them as soon as possible.